Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound, the Wycombe Wanderers Show.
Welcome along to the latest edition of the Wycombe Wanderers Show with myself and Bob.
Very good evening to the show tonight, where we have a slight twist on what normally happens, because we've got a prize for you to win.
Yes, it's competition time. Very excited. We've teamed up with Claude Bernard Watches. We'll be catching up with Mark Kane a little later on to find out a bit more about what you can win.
And if that wasn't enough, we have also had an interview with the most smiley Wycombe Wanderers player that ever was.
Who could it be?
Who could it be? Who have you been speaking to?
Sergio Torres.
Oh, wow!
It's great. He's great to chat to.
I'm quite jealous. Was he very grinny and was his hair all blonde and curly?
Yes, to both.
Yeah, no, very, very jealous. I will also be hearing the thoughts of Gareth Ainsworth after both the Coventry City game and our visits to AFC Bournemouth.
How was his hair?
Yeah, it was all right. Fairly rock starry as normal. Black leather jacket, dark blue jeans, and sandy coloured boots, I think, for both games, from what I remember.
This shall be the ideal pick-me-up if you're disappointed and perhaps had tickets to see Wycombe against QPR on Saturday, which we'll be looking ahead to. But unfortunately, no fans, and we'll be reviewing and looking ahead to Wycombe Wanderers ladies' next game as well.
Yes, I mean, that is probably the big news from today, is obviously the 2,000 fans that are hoping to go to the game against QPR. Unfortunately, because Buckinghamshire will be moving into Tier 3 from 1 minute past midnight on Saturday, it will mean that the game has to be played behind closed doors. However, the club have said that all season ticket holders will still be able to watch the game on iFollow, which of course is the online platform.
It's really sad because obviously supporters were just sort of getting used to returning to games, and I'm sure the players were just getting used to having fans back as well.
It's such a shame because, yes, I think we were all just getting used to it. It was wonderful on Saturday that 2,000 fans were in Adams Park. The noise that they made when there were 1,000 was quite impressive. The noise with 2,000, it almost sounded like a normal game. In fact, if you weren't really looking, I don't think you would have necessarily sort of thought, oh, that's a bit funny, everybody's sitting quite a long way away from each other. And I think we all wondered whether actually you'd be able to get a chant going in those scenarios. Well, definitely the result is yes, you completely can, because the home support against Coventry on Saturday was wonderful and did sound really, really loud and impressive. And absolutely, it's so upsetting, the news today that we've been moving into Tier 3 for all football fans, particularly given the fact that we've got a couple of home games coming up over Christmas, which I'm sure everybody was looking forward to. Christmas football, anyway, is a special thing, and the fact that it's going to be denied us does seem a little bit harsh.
And especially disappointing for everyone involved in the club, who's obviously put so much work into getting the fans back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've talked over the past couple of weeks just about how impressed we've been that the club have been so proactive, they've been so ready for this. As soon as they got the word that, yes, they could let the fans in, they've been doing everything that they possibly could to make sure that actually 1,000 fans at the first game were in, and then 2,000 fans at the game on Saturday. It is a real shame. A shame for everybody. It was nice at Bournemouth, even though obviously there were no away fans there, but it still felt far more normal to have a crowd there, albeit that none of them really were of a Wycombe Wanderers persuasion, but that definitely felt better, and it was lovely to see the ovation that they gave Ryan Alsop both before the game and when he came out after half-time at both ends of the ground, because clearly he used to be an AFC Bournemouth player and is obviously very fondly remembered there.
That's nice, isn't it, when players go back to their former clubs and are well received?
Absolutely, it is lovely, and it's one of the things that we do miss, I think, and obviously it's one of the things that we are going to miss now on Saturday. Gareth Ainsworth clearly facing the club that he made the most appearances for, possibly one of those clubs that that holds him dearest to their heart, along with ourselves, Queen's Park Rangers. You just think, had times been normal, then yes, I'm sure he would have got an absolutely rousing reception from the town end QPR supporters. I know that they were very grateful for him to do the QPR online quiz during the first lockdown when he dressed up as Gene Simmons. He clearly has a lot of love for that football club in the way that he does about Blackburn Rovers as well, and also, of course, we've got to say, does about us.
Absolutely. So we'll lift your spirits in the next hour. We've both had comments, haven't we, that people like the humour of the show.
yes, which we were pleasantly surprised about. So
yes.
Should we put it that way?
We didn't realise there was any. But
no, absolutely, we do our best.
Yeah, no. Point out when there's humour. We can definitely.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, unfortunately, if that's the right word, we need to sort of drop the mood a little in that the last two games haven't produced any points, but they have produced many positive talking points, including Coventry, where there was a goal disallowed.
Oh, and that was so annoying right at the end. Scott Cash kept tapping in, and then it was given offside, and really when it was watched back, I think everybody felt that no, he was probably on, or at least level. One of those ones you do think, well, yes, if we'd had VAR, what would that have made of it? I'm not particularly a fan of VAR. I think it does hold up games. And also I think the way that it is applied is so ridiculous, in that actually, yes, your fingernail can basically mean that you're offside. I don't think we want that, but at the same time we want better officials than we have had so far. I know that Gareth in Leagues 1 and Leagues 2 constantly was calling for the fact that actually the officials should be full-time. We've now got those in the Championship, and they're not really very much better. So you do think, well, what is the next step? I definitely don't think that it's VAR. I think there is some happy medium maybe that you could have, but the way that VAR has been applied, I wouldn't want to see it in the Championship.
Because after the previous game, we mentioned that it looked a little tired, and Gareth obviously made some changes. And I recall on my way to doing the classified football results, bit of self-plugging there, that I sent you a message saying this looked a really positive lineup, and I was saying, did you feel optimistic for a good score? And then you replied, "We're 2-0 down." Saying, not now.
Yeah, sorry, I was a bit busy when you contacted me. We must come back to the fact that you read the football results, because that's, I'm sure, something that not many people know. And also, it is quite an impressive thing, because there aren't that many people who read the football results nationally in the country.
No.
I think probably only about 3, and you are one of them.
I'm especially looking forward to 4-5 against East Fife, which is this Saturday.
Of course, well, again, that's the sort of thing I was going to ask you, so yeah, we'll come back to that. But yeah, it was good to see that actually very much the pack was shaken on Saturday. And
it looked a strong lineup, didn't it?
It definitely worked, yeah, it really did. Even the fact that Bayo wasn't starting, and we have said constantly that actually Wycombe need to come up with a different plan. We can't constantly rely on Bayo. He's 38 years old. Yes, he's still absolutely brilliant, but clearly we do need to have a plan B. And you could argue, I suppose, that actually we had to then go back and rely on the plan A, because obviously he came on after an hour. He replaced Alex Samuel. David Wheeler came on. Gareth McCleary came on as well for Horgan and Matt Bloomfield, just to try and get us back in the game. But we had been playing well. We had been creating the chances. It was a little bit, again, like the Preston game, where very frustratingly, actually, Coventry were given 2 opportunities to score that they shouldn't really probably have had, and they scored both of them.
Bob spoke to the manager after the game to get his thoughts.
Once again, we're talking about 2 goals really that the opposition didn't really have to work very hard about.
No, at this level you can't gift goals. We unfortunate for the first one, little mistake. Let him in. He scored a great strike, Kelly. And then the set play. We've got to defend set plays better. We know that at any level. Look at the game last night in the Premier League. West Ham Leeds, all 3 goals, set plays. So if it's good enough for the Premier League, it's definitely good enough for the Championship. We've got to defend them better. Having said that, honestly thought we were a better team today. The opposition managers told me we were a better team. We've scored at the end. It's clearly onside. I don't know why the assistant referee has given that offside. It seems like nothing's going for Wycombe at the moment in the Championship, but in that second half of the season, believe me, if it does, we'll be more than capable of surviving, and I want to deliver survival to my owners, my fans, my players, and I'm sure we will.
Would you like to see VAR introduced into the Championship?
I would today, yeah, definitely. I think we've had a couple of penalty issues. We don't tend to get away with much in the Championship, and I think that the smaller clubs, I'm not saying there's any bias, I just think that there seems to be something about the smaller clubs. I spoke to Daniel Farker when we played Norwich, and he said we're getting exactly the same when we were in the Premier League, and why is that? It's something maybe to look into, but VAR would certainly help, but am I a fan of that? I'm not sure. Today I probably would have been, because we'd have got a point.
And also, we never seem to get anything with regards to Bayo, who seems to get fouled a lot, but because of his size, referees never give anything.
Listen, the big man can look after himself, and he's used to that. Like I say, 2 moments where I'm not happy, 88 minutes where I'm more than happy, and I'm sure the fans are too. The reception they gave the players coming off, and the positivity coming out of this place, I thought was excellent, and really pleased that the fans are back in. There's 2,000 fans been waiting years and years to see Wycombe Wanderers in the Championship, and I think they'll be proud of what they saw today.
I thought there was a very important moment just after the kick-off today where obviously Coventry and the referee forgot about taking the knee. When all of the players did then take the knee, everybody in the ground applauded and just showed that actually this club is completely united in support of that gesture.
Listen, I am so behind that gesture. I'm so behind getting equality throughout the world, and I hope that this in football can help with that. All I will say is that it wasn't just Coventry players. I think Wycombe players as well. That everyone just sort of got it wrong at the start, but I'm really pleased everyone got it right, and then even more pleased the fans applauded and made it a real poignant moment. It's fantastic. Some things are bigger than football. It's definitely one of them.
That must have been one of those sort of moments as well where you thought, oh, this is nice to have the supporters in.
It was brilliant. It was a really touching moment. It was a bizarre start to the game. So Coventry kicked off, and as they then kicked off, the player who kicked off basically tried to pass it to a player who'd already taken the knee, and at that point obviously then realised what had happened, and the referee hadn't really realised either, and then did, and so then sort of had to blow the whistle again almost to signal, right, okay, it's now time to take the knee. Let's pretend that other bit didn't happen almost. That's how it sort of looked. And so then they did all take the knee. Some of the Wycombe fans had started booing the Coventry players for the fact, or the Coventry player for the fact that actually they hadn't taken the knee, and then as soon as everybody did take the knee, the whole ground erupted into applause. And after some of the things that we've heard at other clubs over the past couple of weeks, it was very, very heartening to see.
Fantastic, and it's obviously not quite the same, well, maybe impactfulness, but when there's no crowd there either, and just sort of taking the knee, and it's just quiet all around, and then just carry on.
Yeah, and it was interesting to speak to Gareth about it and just get his thoughts, and he obviously is absolutely passionately 100% behind it. It'll be interesting to see what happens this Saturday. Clearly Les Ferdinand at QPR has spoken and said that clearly he very much supports the reasons behind it, but he does feel that it is one of those gestures that so often seems to happen in football that actually after a while it just becomes the gesture and it's not really addressing the real issue. And I completely understand and I can completely respect that. But it will be interesting to see what does actually happen against QPR, whether or not the knee is taken. I would imagine as it's a home Wycombe game, it probably will be.
And also good that on a Tuesday night you get another chance after a defeat and no points on the Saturday, another chance pretty quickly to kind of try and make amends.
Yeah, I mean, slightly in two minds about that, whether or not it was too soon, and the fact that against Barnsley on that Wednesday we had looked really, really tired. But it wasn't like that at all. We looked really, really fresh. We gave Bournemouth a really good game. As Gareth has said previously, actually nobody's going to want to face us at the moment, despite our league position. I thought that, again, was a really positive thing. We gave Bournemouth a fantastic game, and, we're very, very unlucky.
And disappointing to have a man sent off as well.
Yeah, that again was very unfortunate. Alex Patterson was slightly unlucky. I definitely didn't feel that there was any intent there. If you watch the incident, he certainly wasn't looking at the player. He wasn't going to go in and try and take his standing leg away, which is what happened. So it was unlucky. And as Gareth says, after the game, it was partly really brought about by the fact that as soon as it happened, pretty much all 10 Bournemouth outfield players instantly made a beeline for the referee.
It's his first tackle of the game. You got people sprinting 30, 40 yards to get involved, to start pushing people, to start inflaming the situation. For me, that's the referee. He's got to be stronger. But we're not going to expect anything of anyone in this league. We're going to give and give and give like we gave tonight, and we were superb. I will put my name to that performance any day. I thought they were brilliant today.
Yeah, I mean, you were amazing. First half, I felt that you were growing into the game a bit. Second half, you came out, particularly early on in the second half, you were amazing. And then when you were down to 10, you were the better team.
Begovic has made bigger saves than Allsop tonight. I know he's got to do that and he's got to be there for that, but we were absolutely superb tonight. Really, really were. I'm going to get looked at thinking, what is this guy on? Because he keeps coming out with these great performances but bad results. Please watch the video, watch the game, because you will be so proud of your boys tonight, as I am. We'll go again Saturday now.
Is it a case that we need to start winning those games against the teams that are around us, the Barnsley's, that sort of game?
Of course, we do need to start winning games against anyone, but we play like that. We'll beat anyone in this league, I tell you. We will beat anyone in this league, and I'm just so pleased and so proud of the boys. They gave everything. we've got our identity back. We're making noises in this league, and I want to make the biggest noise by causing the biggest upset to all the bookies in the world and staying in the Championship.
With regards to Saturday, clearly it's a big day for you facing QPR.
Yeah, huge for me. For the first time in a long time, I want QPR to get beat. That's where I played for the majority of my career and loved it. That place is phenomenal for me. I love QPR, but at the moment I love those boys in there, and they're going to be giving me everything for Saturday. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. 3 points.
Really nice for the manager to be coming up against his former clubs at this level as well.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell that he relishes it. He enjoyed very much the visit to Blackburn. He enjoyed the visit to Preston. But QPR is clearly a club that is very, very close to his heart. And so, I think he probably this was the second fixture that he looked for when the fixtures came out. I think Blackburn probably was the first one, but QPR was the second.
Still to come on the Wycombe Wanderers Show this week. We'll be giving you the chance to win with Claude Bernard watches, the official Wycombe Wanderers watch could be yours just in time for Christmas. Plus, we're inviting you to get involved on social media as well as part of our poll this week, heading towards our 20th game in the Championship. Can you believe it?
No, not really.
And you've been to them all?
I have, yes. Yeah, I wasn't at the Brentford League Cup game, but other than that, I've been at them all. It's sort of slightly, how have we managed to fit that number of games in? And I know the answer to that is that, well, pretty much they've been playing Saturday and then on Tuesday and Wednesday pretty much non-stop. And so you can understand really why they're tired. And they must be looking forward to the QPR game and getting that out of the way, because for the first time since the second international break, finally they are going to have a week off. But it is incredible that actually, yes, we're already almost halfway through the season. Just the 2 wins as well, which doesn't sound very many, does it? It doesn't really, does it? But anyway, that's what the question on social media is about tonight. So you've got 11 points from, the 19 games, going into the 20th game with 11 points. How many points do you think after the next 20 games in the Championship? Will it be double that, so 22? Will it be less, so less than 22, not less than 11, obviously. It's not an A-level maths question, don't worry. What time does the train leave? Or do you think it'll be more than 22? That's the question. You can get in touch via Twitter. You can tweet us at Wycombe Sound. Use the hashtag TWWS. If it'll be less than 11 points, we'll be in trouble. We could turn it into an A-level question, and we could just put the word discuss. Discuss, yeah. 25 marks, that one. Yeah. Yes, do get in touch, and we'll let you know how that's going throughout the programme here at Wycombe Sound. It's the second half of a 3-part programme on Wycombe Sound. This is the Wycombe Wanderers Show. We're on every week. If you've missed any so far, there are many we can recommend. You can catch up. You can, yes, on all good podcast platforms. I believe it's how they say it. Yeah, no, I like that. What time does the train leave? No, it's a different question. We've had fantastic guests on. Many thanks to Alan and JDT from the Ex-Players Association as well, who've liaised with us to speak to all sorts of people, ranging from Keith Scott, Glenn Creaser, all the way back to Len Worley. We've had players from the late 40s, early 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, but we're yet to speak to a player from the 21st century. I love the way that you thought about this and then thought, we need somebody from the 21st century. Yes. We need someone representing the 2000s. And it sounds slightly superhero-ish when you say that about the 21st century. And you've gone and got one of the Wycombe superheroes. Not only one of them, but someone who's got a documentary out about their life, essentially. Which, again, how many players can you say that about? Not many footballers, full stop. No, exactly. Someone like myself who came to Wycombe from Basingstoke. And it's the boy with golden hair, as ABBA didn't quite sing. Yeah, less like me in that case. Yes, I wasn't describing you then. But fantastic to speak to Sergio Torres, who came to Wycombe in 2005, which, when you say it like that, does sound like a long time ago, doesn't it? It does, yes. 15 years ago. But you can still see his smile. And does it seem like a long time ago to him? That's the question. Yeah, no. It feels quite recent, to be fair. It was, my first professional club, and of course, it's still very, very in my memory. Of course, my dream was to play professional, and it took me 2 years to achieve that dream. But I spent 3 amazing years at Wycombe, and I always have a special place in my heart. Because I think a number of supporters may have known kind of roughly the story. You came from Argentina via Basingstoke, but having watched the documentary, it's fantastic to know even more about sort of the sort of struggles that you went through. And obviously you came originally for a trial at Brighton and stayed with a number of other people before that as well. It's a fantastic way of kind of finding out what you've kind of been through to get to what you did at Wycombe, but also your career since. Yeah, no, it's exactly what you said. And
I'm hoping with the documentary that people can see, if you have a dream, just to go for it and try your hardest to achieve it. That's the message. If you, I don't know, we say in football because football was my dream, but people in other kind of jobs or anything that you would like to do in your life, just try your best and don't get stuck in the day to day what you do because maybe you're not loving what you're doing. So that's the message. And I went through a lot, especially like we said, 17, 18 years ago when I didn't even have a mobile phone or I didn't have that contact with my family like we do it today. So that was the toughest thing, I think, for me. It was mainly the language, the barrier, but I saw it as an experience of life at the time, and I was like, I need to take in everything and learn. And 18 years, I'm still living in England, so I really enjoy my time.
It probably wasn't funny at the time, but there's a great moment in the documentary where you're talking about you're standing outside the house at Norbury where you stayed, and that you entered the bedroom, and then you found out that you were sharing a bed with someone else, but you said there was no cuddles.
Yeah, that was my first night in England. To be fair, it wasn't what I was picturing in my head. I don't know. In Argentina, we heard of London, and I knew the Big Ben and the Tower Bridge and all that stuff. And then when I arrived, and the agent took me to his house in Norbury, which is South London near Croydon, and then I didn't know where I was. And then that first night I had to share the bed with a complete stranger. Was something like I said, I didn't expect it to be like that, but that first night was like, I was thinking in my head, what am I doing here? I was fine back home. Like, I had a job with my dad in the brick factory and all my friends. I had a good life, but it wasn't. I couldn't do what I loved to do, which was to play football. So I thought, I'd try my best.
Hopefully, your accommodation arrangements were better at Wycombe.
To be fair, John Gorman really helped me when I signed. Of course, the money wasn't very good because I was a bassist, and basically Wycombe offered me the same deal because they didn't know how I was going to do it. A league level, League 2 level. So I do after a certain game, I had an arrangement in the contract that if I do well, that hopefully get a bit more money. But because basically, I didn't have enough money. John Gorman came with me to see this family who really helped me. And I was living with them for 1 year. So it was, it really helped me as well to learn my English and improve my English. And I'm still in talking to them that they really helped me.
You were talking about sort of fulfilling your dream. It must have been a great feeling when you signed for Wycombe.
Yeah, no, that's that day is it was a very special day. I played 2 years in non-league, hoping for that day to come. And like I said, John Gorman, I own everything to John Gorman. He put faith in me, and it's not easy, taking a player who was 2 league below. I was 24 already, so I wasn't a young kid. But John saw something in me, and then I said to him, I'm going to work as hard as I can to, not let you down. And then basically, for myself to make my dream come true. And I called my family, my friends back home and everything. And it was a very, very special day.
I'm sure your first game is probably still very memorable. Yeah,
it was at home against Cheltenham. We were 0-0, and John bring me on with half an hour to go, and then it finished 0-0. But the first ball I touched, I went past 2 players and I had a shot, and then I thought I scored. And I think that created a bit of excitement in the fans. And since that day, honestly, I couldn't believe the fans were singing my name straight away. It was a lovely, lovely memory.
And I've honestly not known anyone before or since who had wigs of themselves that fans would wear wigs of the player. That must be quite strange for you to see.
It was very strange. That was my second game, I think. I saw about 10 people wearing wigs, and I just couldn't believe it. I think my hair was at that time was very, very distinct and very unique. So people, I used to get called all sorts of things every time we play away. But I just took it as banter, and then the Wycombe fans really took it to their heart, and then they started selling some wigs in the club shop.
But you were so popular with the fans as well, and obviously your style of play really excited people to watch as well.
Yeah, no, the fans were amazing. Like I said, since the first day they started singing my name, and from going to play where 500 people were watching to 7,000-8,000 people, it was just, for me, it was just a dream. And then even when they were singing my name, I just couldn't believe it. So like I said, I spent 3 amazing years. I was when I left, I was excited to go to play higher, because I always say to myself, be true to yourself and play as high as try to play as high as you can. But I was missing Wycombe so much, and that really affected me, because these 3 years, like I said, the fans, everyone at the club made me so welcome, my teammates, and it's a club that I really, really love.
And the game against Chelsea must be so special as well.
Yeah, well, I was coming from a knee injury for about 3 months. I didn't play, or I didn't train or anything. And I remember I started training the 1st of January, that New Year's Day. I remember talking to Paul Lambert, and I said, look, I'm going to give it a go, because, I can't seem to get better from my injury. So I just went through it, basically. And 9 days later, we played the first leg. He put me on the bench. I was so happy, I couldn't believe it. He bring me on the last 10 minutes. We managed to score. When I was on the pitch, we drew 1-1, and the second leg, again, 2 weeks later, was at Stamford Bridge, and that was just amazing. I came on half an hour to go, I think, and then I remember the game stopped, and then I was looking around, was Drogba, Shevchenko, Lampard, Makelele, was just players who were, amazing players, and I wasn't sharing the same pitch. So it was, like I say, it's a special occasion for me as well.
There seem to be so many different groups of former Wycombe players who have, very special sort of team groups of their time, and the team that you played with, the group of players, seems to be, obviously led by Tommy Mooney for a time, and that particular group. And I know, obviously, Russell Martin you're still friends with today, and that group seemed pretty special, didn't it?
Yeah, no, it was, in football, you spend time in many dressing rooms. And to be fair, that first few years there, we still, talking to each other, which you don't see very often. And that dressing was very special, with so much talent. And that's something that is really hard to take, how we did not get promoted with that team. But we went through a lot, especially that first year with John's wife passing, with Mark Philo, passing, was a very, very difficult year. But we still, like I said, we're still friends. We still got a group chat on WhatsApp that we always talk with Russ, with Blooms, which is unbelievable. It's absolutely Mr. Wycombe is a hero. He's still playing after so many years, and so happy for him. He was good when I was playing with him, and he's still going strong. We got about 4 or 5 players that we're still talking. Was a very special group. And
you must be so pleased to see that the team in the Championship now, especially being in League 2 when you were there.
No, I was, honestly, I watched the playoff games, and I was so happy for the club. Gareth, I never really had a chance to meet Gareth, but I know he put so much work into it, and I know Robbo, which he was there with the youth team when I was at Wycombe, and he's such a nice guy. And like I said, I know Matt Bloomfield. It's just so good to see a team who always work hard. It's a really, really family club, community based, and it's just so good to see through hard work and dedication they managed to achieve to play in the Championship. And last night they only lost 1-0 against a very strong side, and from the reports I read, that they deserve better than that. So it's just great to see. It'd be amazing if they manage to stay in the league.
And so pleasing for you as well that you went on to play at a higher level, onto Peterborough and Crawley, and then to do so well in your career as well.
Yeah, like I say, it wasn't easy at the time when I left, because 3 years is a long time, and I had special memory. But at Peterborough, I was happy. I ended up playing the Championship, about 15 games, which was the highest I ever played. But mentally, I went through a little bit of tough time, because I wasn't playing that much that first year at Peterborough, and it's not easy. It's not easy once you play nearly every game to go and not really play, or the manager don't take you to games. psychologically you struggle. But then my move to Crawley was amazing. It's similar to the feelings I got for Wycombe. That we got promotions. We end up playing at Old Trafford in the FA Cup, which is probably the biggest game of my career. And then again, I fall in love with that club as well. It's got Wycombe and Crawley are very, very similar to me in what I was saying about the dressing room. It was another amazing dressing room, and it's just the clubs are very, very similar in what they do, how they are in the community, and special times for me as well there.
And you've played for 3 managers, all with very thick Scottish accents as well. That must have been tricky for you.
Honestly, I had so many Scottish managers in England that I could, from John Gorman, Darren Ferguson, Steve Evans, Paul Lambert. I just, I even had Mark McGee last year at East Bombara, when it was 2 years ago, which is crazy. But it was the hardest one to understand was definitely Paul. I remember the first meeting we had was he talked for about half an hour, and I was like, I came out of that meeting and I understood one word, I think, and then I said to Brownlee, the assistant manager, I said, can you please translate what he said? It was so funny.
So tell us how the documentary came about, because it really is a great watch, and you must be so pleased with how it's come out.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you for giving it a watch. This guy, Jasper, he's from the Netherlands, and a few years ago, he sent me an email and saying if I ever thought about, and I was like, look, a lot of people told me about trying to do something, but I was like, I haven't got the money, and it costs, I presume it will cost a lot of money. So he said, I need to do a degree for my studies. And he said, have you heard of Kickstarter? I was like, no. He said, well, apparently through the funds, you can reach money. So I was like, well, we can give it a go. And that's how we came about, basically. And he said, we done the math, how much money we're going to spend on ticket to go to Argentina, to go money spent to go to Old Trafford and all the clubs around I played. And of course, buying some new equipment, a decent camera. And then, that's how we came about, really. And we managed to get £9,000 in 4 weeks, which was crazy. I couldn't believe how many fans from Wycombe, Crawley, Peterborough, all the clubs I play, and people who just tried to help me, friends, managed to reach that money. And it took us a year. We were traveling everywhere, and it was everything done by him and me, basically. We even had to put the goals up when we went to Crawley. The goals were not on the pitch, so it's just me and him like trying to put these massive goals. We nearly broke our hands, but it was really, really enjoyable, and I'm so pleased that after such a long time we managed to get it on few different platforms, Amazon Prime, Sky Store, and so people can see the story. And like I said, it's about dreams and about going for it.
Because were there points, obviously it must be really reflective for you to be able to put the documentary together, but were there points when you started out in Argentina and you were you confident that you would end up at a league club, or where you thought, I could end up at Basingstoke Town or something?
No, when I was playing back home, I tried in few professional clubs there to, because it's my country, and then I was like, I really want to play in the Premier League back then, but it just didn't. I went on trial to 3-4 clubs, and it's just it didn't happen. So it was so hard. That's why I decided to leave. But I never thought I would have the career I had, and I'm so pleased. And I never got to play in the Premier League, but for me, I don't know, having this 9-10 years I was professional, it's just I done what I love for 10 years and nothing more than just play football, and that's enough for me. Yeah,
I think what's really nice about it as well, because as I say, at the beginning, people may know kind of bits of your story, like so they may have heard that you worked at Boots, but it's fantastic to hear from your supervisor at the time and the couple that you stayed with in Basingstoke.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I still really good friends, and that's one of the things. I met through football. I met so many friends for life, and so many people trying to help. I was really, really impressed with the kindness of the English people, especially having this Argentinian coming and going to the house from one of the fans, like living there, or working in boots, and the supervisor became one of my friends and still talking like the day of today. So it was, like I said, football not just gave me that, it also gave me my family, because I met my wife through football, going on a pre-season tour to Germany, thanks to Paul Lambert. Like how life, follow that little line. And then if Paul Lambert was never the manager at Wycombe, I will never be able to meet my wife and have kids like I got now. So yeah, it's just amazing.
It's a lovely story. You couldn't understand the manager, but because of him, you've met your wife.
Yeah, no, I did understand after a few weeks.
You get used to it, don't you?
I got used to it. Yeah, it's weird, but you got used to it. And Paul was brilliant with me. Was absolutely brilliant, and like I said, thanks to his contacts in Dortmund, I met my wife.
I'm sure she's very grateful as well.
Yeah, I invited him to the wedding, but he couldn't make it.
Oh. I was going to say as well, there's really good use of music in the documentary. I think that really sort of helps with the mood, doesn't it?
Yeah, like I said, Jasper has done an amazing job. He was only 23 a couple of years ago, and this is his first movie. And then, honestly, the music is amazing. We were happy. We were pleased with the songwriter that he helped us. Alistair Griffin is the main one that we used quite a few songs of him, and he was really happy to give it to us. Like I said, so many people helped us to do this documentary, and then Jasper started an amazing job. And yeah, I'm so pleased for him.
And there are some outtakes at the end, which are good fun as well.
They're quite funny, yeah. So yeah, no, I hope people enjoy it. That's the main thing.
There's a joke about a skeleton going to a party as well.
Oh, it's awful.
yeah, that's not a highlight. But there are some very good bits in it. It's a fantastic watch, and as you say, a brilliant kind of message for people about following your dreams.
Exactly. That's the end message we want to send. We never made this movie with the aim to make money, because we end up losing money, me and Jasper. But we just wanted the story to be out there, and hopefully, like I say, inspire one or two kids. Which you get so many rejections. I had so many rejections, that saying you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you're small, you this, you that. But if you believe in yourself and then you try your hardest, you got more chances to succeed than not.
It would make a really good Christmas gift, wouldn't it, to any Wycombe fan?
Yeah. I think it will, and I think there's some people that still remember me there.
Oh, very memorable, very memorable. So, just finally, tell us what you're doing now.
Well, now I'm working for. Well, you mentioned Russell Martin. He opened up his foundation 4 years ago, and I've been working for Russ in the academy, in the foundation. We're doing so much work here in Brighton with the community, and it's amazing what Russ have put together, and that's the kindness that guy has in himself. And also I finished playing last year at East Bombara, and then since that day it's been a year and a half now, nearly a year and a half that I've been the assistant manager, and I'm really enjoying and learning the role of I'm doing all the coaching and everything. So I'm doing the UEFA license at the moment, and yeah, I just want to learn as much as I can on the other side of the white line.
Oh, so pleasing for him as well to have the career that he's had to go on to Norwich and do so well and play for Scotland as well, and now into management himself.
Russ is a top guy. Very, very respected in football. He had an amazing career, but he's another one. I always said to him, I think you should do a documentary, Russ, because you got really. His hard work. I never met anyone who, with such a dedication, hard work, and what he achieved in his life is amazing. And now, being from one day to another, being the manager in a League One club is not something that easy. And then he's doing well. I'm just so pleased for him.
So if he does do a documentary and he needs a joke for the end, perhaps you can do something better than the skeleton one.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been brilliant to speak to you, and I wish you and your family a very happy Christmas as well.
Thank you, Colin. Happy Christmas to you and to everyone, all the Wycombe fans listening to this. And hopefully when things go back to normal, I will try to go and watch a game.
Really enjoyable speaking to Sergio. I think that's lifted the mood, hasn't it?
That was a fab interview. I really enjoyed that. He just sounded lovely. As you would expect, he sounded as you would expect him to be. You know, he always was one of those players. He always played with a smile on his face, and that was exactly how he sounded in that interview.
And it's such a heartwarming documentary. I watched the Unknown Torres during Lockdown 1. It was fantastic to see. I'm sure there'll be other lockdowns as well. It's like the Fast and the Furious. There'll be like 19 of them, I expect.
Other Sergio Torres documentaries, possibly as well.
But we looked it up on IMDb, and there's a fantastic review which I think really sums it up, probably in better words than we could talk about.
We really like this. So it says, I highly recommend this documentary film about the footballing life of Sergio Torres. The football journey in itself is unbelievable and inspiring, but actually the bigger impact is how this young man seemed to positively impact everybody that he came across along the way. The total absence of cynicism is rare in professional sport, but Sergio Torres comes across as someone who simply retained the childlike awe of playing a game that he loved. The scenes with his dad were particularly touching, a beautiful bond between father and son.
It is a fantastic watch. I thoroughly recommend it, and as mentioned, it'd be a great Christmas gift for a Wycombe Wanderers fan. Brilliant to chat to Sergio Torres. Final part of the show on the way.
Love music, love talk, love Wycombe Sound.
Still to come on this week's The Wycombe Wanderers Show, to give it its proper name, but I think on this week's Wycombe Wanderers Show sounds better. We'll be previewing the game against QPR with no fans on Saturday, and also catching up with Wycombe Wanderers ladies' latest reincarnation of their season, which began on Sunday against one of the fancy teams in their division. But first, as mentioned a little earlier on, we've got a fantastic competition for you.
We have been talking about the Sergio Torres documentary, which was a great watch, and now we've got another great watch for you. It's an actual watch. It's really, really nice as well. It is. It does look. It is very quality and looks very fancy.
It's a very smart timepiece.
Yes, indeed. With the Wycombe Wanderers badge in the middle.
In fact, there's two. So we've teamed up with Claude Bernard.
Even more exciting. There's two.
There's two watches, but you can only win one.
Okay.
So the ones you can win, there's a blue one, as you'd expect. It's a blue leather strap. And there's the club badge. I don't know what I'm looking at. That's not it. There's a blue club badge on it, and the strap has luminous elements to it as well. But also in the range, you might call it. There's a bracelet watch as well, a silver one,
which is the one that we understand that Pete Kuhik has gone for.
Yes. Stylish. So here's Mark Kane from Claude Bernard to explain a bit about how the company got involved with the now Championship club.
Well, I went to see Wycombe Wanderers last December, and I was very impressed with the show that I saw. And I thought, gosh, this club are going places. They're going to get promotion. And I don't know what it was, but something in my head said they're going to win promotion to the Championship. So over the Christmas holidays last year, I thought, gosh, they are going to get promotion. And so I approached the club in January of this year, and I said, look, you're going to get promotion. I specialise in watches, Claude Bernard Swiss watches. Can I make a special watch for you that if you do get promotion, you'll have something to commemorate your achievement? And they said to me, well, do you think we'll get promotion? And, lost the last two games in a row. This was sort of mid to end of January. I said, you're going to get promotion. I can see the team. I can see, the camaraderie in the team, the spirit in the team. You've got some fantastic strikers there. You're going to get it. And they said, okay, why not make a prototype and show us, what it would look like? So in February, towards the end of February this year, I had a prototype watch for them. And they said, yeah, that's nice. We like it. Can you make it for us? And I said, yep, it will take 3 to 4 months because it's going to be made in Switzerland. They're really precise in how they do things. It's going to take 3 or 4 months, so it will be the start of the new season in 2020 when you've got promotion. And they sort of giggled at my confidence and the fact that I was so persistent that Wycombe were going to get promotion to the Championship. And I said, I'm taking a big bet on this, and financially, and putting a lot of investment into this for you, for the fans. I said, you're going to do it. So anyway, COVID struck at the end of March, and I thought, that's it. When will clubs reopen? Will there ever be fans back in the grounds again? What's going to happen? No one knows. Luckily, Wycombe got into the playoffs, and they phoned me up, and they said, are you still confident we're going to win? I said, yes. I said, you've only got 2 games to win, and you're going to do it. Well, you can imagine the final game against Oxford United. I was sitting on my sofa, thinking to myself, I've ordered these watches from the factory. It's been very difficult getting the managing director in Switzerland to produce these individual watches for me. If Wycombe don't get promotion tonight, I'm going to have a loss, and I'm going to have a lot of egg on my face. Well, as you know, with the Jacobson penalty, they got through and they won. So that was it. Production cranked up. They made the watches, and we got delivery just a few weeks ago. The watches, as I say, are made by Claude Bernard, the Swiss watchmaking company, last of the independent, family-owned Swiss watchmakers. So they're quite unique. And the boxing is made locally here in High Wycombe. The packaging is made locally here in High Wycombe. The artwork, the design, everything is local. So there's quite a good local content in the package. And I think the fans will be delighted because they're very high quality, very good finish, and it's something they can have for decades to come and show other people decades from now.
Tell us about the watches themselves. You've got two that you brought along to show us. There's a bracelet watch and a leather strap one as well, which the leather strap is blue.
Yes, the leather strap's blue, Wycombe blue. We match the colours of the shirts, two shades of blue. They've got, both watches have the Wycombe logo on the front, and on the reverse of the watch we have, on the back of the watch we have again the Wycombe logo, and we have special commemorative writing saying Promotion 2020 on the back of the watch, and there is also space on the back of the watch to engrave your name. So that's quite a nice feature. A lot of watches today you can't actually engrave the back. There's not enough space, or the metal isn't quite right. But these are good old watches that you can engrave the back of. We've left space for that. And you've got the special Promotion 2020 watch to show generations of Wycombe supporters and future the first time that we got into the Championship in 133 years.
And I think as well, the first thing that strikes you is the quality. They do look really smart, and you wear one yourself as well.
I do. I'm very proud to wear this one. The quality is very high. As you can imagine, the Swiss are perfectionists, and they make something that's going to last. So that was the whole reason for making it. We wanted something like a medallion, something that would last and commemorate the great achievement of Wycombe Wanderers this season.
And tell us a bit more about the company and your association with them.
Well, I've known Claude Bernard for over 20 years. I actually bought my first Claude Bernard watch in Geneva over 20 years ago. I used to work in banking and investment, and I used to go to Switzerland quite a lot. And I saw the watches in the window, and I said to the chap there, I said, these are really good watches, how much are they? And I was quite surprised to see how inexpensive they were for a Swiss watch. And so I bought one, and I still wear it, and it's now, about 22 years old. So they will last, and that's the whole reason for my association. I like quality, and the company is all about quality, and they make things on a small scale. So it's very, very nice.
And really great to have that local link as well. You were saying yourself you're based in Beaconsfield, and the packaging's done locally as well.
It is. We wanted as much local content as we could in the packaging. The art designers, the graphics designers, the people who print the cards, the people who print the boxes. Every aspect we want as much local input, and it's just wonderful to see the quality locally that we can produce here in High Wycombe. So it's a good match for the Swiss. So well done, High Wycombe.
And really nice to have such a quality product to have as a commemorative thing, if you like, to mark the occasion of being in the Championship.
It is. It's not something you know that you're going to lose in a year's time or wash away in a year's time. So these are designed to last and to be proud of and wear every day. The blue leather strap retails at £155, and the bracelet strap, the steel bracelet strap, retails at £195 because of the extra work and the extra finish in that one. But they're both sub £200, which is fantastic for a Swiss watch. And of course the club gets a revenue stream from this as well. So you're supporting local businesses, the local club, and you've got something to keep for as long as you're going to live, because these watches are designed to last.
And you very kindly donated us a watch for listeners to win as a competition prize.
Yeah, I thought it was nice to give something to the fans, and as I say, that's the whole reason that this adventure has begun, is to make sure the fans get something to commemorate the achievement of Wycombe Wanderers this season. Yeah, very much so.
Mark Kane from the fantastic watch the official Wycombe Wanderers watch, brought to us very kindly by Claude Bernard. He's based in Beaconsfield, and you have the chance to win the official Wycombe Wanderers watch. Here's how.
Okay, the question that we want you to answer to be in with a chance of winning the watch is, we want you to tell us the time that Wycombe's first goal was scored in the Championship. So it can either be the actual time that it was, or it can be the time in the particular game. We're being kinder, we're offering you either option. But what was the time of the first goal that we scored in the Championship? To enter, it is an email-only competition. You have to send your entry to the email address, which is twws@wycombesound.org.uk. That is twws, as in the Wycombe Wanderers Show, at wycombesound.org.uk. The competition is open until 1 minute past midnight on Monday. We're slightly taking a leaf out of Matt Hancock's book there. And we will announce the winner on Monday's mid-morning show here on Wycombe Sound.
So if you're listening to the podcast and it's after Monday, you can't...
Yes, absolutely. A bit like they say on ITV. So
exactly.
If you're watching on
Plus
Catch
one.
Up,
don't vote.
Don't enter.
No.
But yes, I will bring you the result on Monday, because I'm doing mid-mornings on Monday.
And we'll feature the winner, obviously, on next week's show as well. So well worth listening out for that. It's a fantastic competition. It's a fantastic prize.
We've also had a question with regards to the Sergio Torres documentary. The documentary is called The Unknown Torres. The Unknown Torres. If you search for that on the internet, then you should be able to find it. I think there is a website dedicated to the film.
Yes, you can download it, or you can buy a physical copy. It's available on Amazon Prime as well, and Sky Store too. So there's plenty of opportunity if you get it. And as we said, it's to make a fantastic Christmas gift.
And we haven't got very long, I know, so we should also mention Wycombe Wanderers ladies.
Yes, we suddenly sped up, haven't we?
I know. It's suddenly like, oh goodness.
Any other business? Yes, quick.
Indeed, we've only got about 2 minutes to go. This always happens on the show. Wycombe Wanderers ladies unfortunately lost on the weekend to Abingdon. Abingdon, however, though, are flying at the top of the Southern Region Women's Football League at the moment. They've played 4 and won 4, so they have 12 points. We are currently in 4th place, played 3, won 2, lost 1. We have 6 points. There are 4 other teams on 6 points in that division at the moment, which is quite impressive considering that there are actually only 10 teams in the division. At the weekend, they are home to the Winchester City Flyers.
Quick mention for QPR.
QPR, indeed. So obviously a very big game for Gareth Ainsworth, playing one of his former clubs. A side that clearly started okay, and very much the wheels seem to have come off over the past few weeks. So fingers crossed. And if you were writing a movie script, say, of the year that Wycombe Wanderers have had, I think maybe you might make the finale Gareth meeting his old team just before Christmas, with Wycombe actually really, really, really needing the 3 points.
And we got them again next month as well.
We have, yes. The strange sort of like way that the fixture computer does these things. Yes, well, it's not very long that we have to wait until we meet them again. They are currently in 19th position in the Championship. In the 19 games so far this season, they have won 4, drawn 7, and lost 8. Their record is not particularly good over the last 5 games. They have lost 3 games and drawn twice, but of course we have a slightly worse record than that in our last 5 games now. We have lost 4 and drawn 1.
Thank you very much indeed if you've been taking part in our Twitter poll this week. We asked you how many points you'd think Wycombe would get after their next 20 games, so after 40 games in the Championship, got 11 going into that. We gave you a number of options, including double that, 22, less than 22, or more than 22. Very pleased to report that the majority have gone with more than 22.
Yeah, I think so, and you would really hope so, because by the time the 40 games comes round, if we're going to have any chance of survival whatsoever, we need to be slightly more in the sort of like the 40 mark, I would think.
We'll be back on Christmas Eve, looking ahead to the festive fixtures, and give you another chance to hear our chat with Martin O'Neill, which is definitely well worth another listen.
Oh yes, it's that's one of those things I could listen to on repeat, because he's just got a nice soothing voice as well, hasn't he?
And there are some very funny elements in that as well.
Yeah, there are indeed. And if you want to listen to this one again, because again, I thought the Sergio Torres interview was excellent, I would like to listen to it again, so you can catch up with us on the podcast from all good podcast platforms.
Enjoy.